Live listen-in, left final 19.7 seconds. Lynx, Seattle Storm. Does that exist?
We actually could. I mean, we're the home.
I don't know how bad the delay is.
Who then can kind of capitalize going forward after those days off?
10 seconds left for Johnson. No good from three. Yet again, it is Caldwell on the glass. And there's a whistle with 3.6 seconds to go.
Let's end this nonsense.
Let's get to the All-Star break.
Game's over. Walk into the free throw line.
76 is Minnesota's lead over Seattle.
I wanted the final call on the horn, you know?
Yeah, we'll get it.
Could they potentially make it a double-digit win?
There have not been many of those, and we had that statistic up earlier. 11 of the last 12 games for the Lynx have been decided by less than 10 points. This is now a 10-point lead by the Lynx.
Don't even shoot. They're not.
It will be a 10-point victory, 86-76, and Nafisa Collier resumes her crown in the WNBA. The Lynx reel off their 7th straight win heading into the All-Star break.
There it is. And Nafisa did start first time this season. Both ankles, fine. I've got 22 minutes, so she was on a bit of a restriction. She did get a late layup, late basket that kind of cemented the deal when at that point, I think it was like still a 4-point game. So in 22 minutes, she goes for 24 points on 9 for 20 from the floor, 2 for 6 from 3.
How many boards?
4 for 4 free throws, 10 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, a plus 12. Poor Olivia Miles. She had to settle for 13 points. Although she did get 15 shots. She did not have a good shooting game. 5 for 15.
Yeah.
She ends up with 6 assists. Courtney Williams also 6 assists. And, of course, the redoubtable Kayla McBride in 36 minutes, 20 points on 6 for 14, including 3 for 6 from 3 and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. It does start to look like if they can get their defense to a little bit more of what the head coach is looking for, that they should be the team to beat in the playoffs, correct?
I really think so. I
mean,
I really do. I mean, they have 2 of the best 4 or 5 players in the league right now.
Yes.
You mentioned McBride.
McBride has been absurd.
We're not even talking about the other all-star, Natasha Howard.
Correct.
Who's had a resurgence. Courtney Williams.
Yeah.
Still good.
It's a nice club. Now, are we fine off the bench? How do we feel about our bench?
If you look at the box score, this number 3, Maya Caldwell, came in and played really well. Yeah, played really well. She's, I think, a very active player. I've noticed her. I went to the last 2 home games, all good for me, and certainly noticed her. I think their depth is actually pretty good. You know, Coffey's from here. She's playing well. Uhas is back. She's hanging in. They have a lot of good pieces. Yeah, it's hard to be 21-6 in this league. Yeah, it's an intriguing mix now because, I mean, a couple things that no matter what the projections were on Miles, she still had to get out there, right? And so you add her to the mix, and then, like I said, it feels like McBride has just reached another level now where she's figured it out. And, I mean, she's dangerous right now. I mean, she's a dangerous scorer. She plays with a certain edge. She does, absolutely right. She's just got that. There's nothing soft about the game. No, she's got that confidence. It's not cockiness, but it's just like that chippy confidence that I think is infectious as well. It's all good, that's for sure. I have by the way. Does Giovanzi know they played, or is she DVRing the game for? Well, she's going to be mad at me for not knowing because you told me I didn't. I was assuming. You're ready to preview the whole thing. Yeah, the build-up. In fact, we were going to watch it tonight. I thought somewhere. I didn't know it was a day game, so yeah, she'll probably be a little bit on the bitter side. It's called FDS. Are you familiar with it? I'm not. I'm very intrigued, and we might have it. No. Other people have it about us. Oh no, about the station. Okay, it's called Fan Derangement Syndrome. I didn't
know it was a thing.
Oh, we got to go with it.
But
You're right.
somebody brought it to my attention via X earlier today.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They may have used a different letter. They may have, but I
think it's FFDS, bleeping fan derangement syndrome.
It might have been exactly it. And it's funny because, again, the accusation is that everybody on this station has Trump derangement syndrome.
Right.
TDS.
Right. And
what I think the texter, the tweeter, I think was trying to figure out is, well, based on what some of you guys are saying and the assumptions you are making about, for example, putting former Governor Arnie Carlson on the air for an hour, meaning that the woke hour has begun, might indicate that you suffer from FDS, fan derangement syndrome. So they're out there a little bit.
Oh, big time.
And I guess I was unaware. I mean, I knew they were there, but it's an interesting way to put it as a reminder that that's the problem with all the derangement syndromes, is it can be thrown right back at you.
Yeah.
If you want to play that game and dismiss, oh, there they go again, TDS, it can be thrown right back at you if you summarily dismiss all aspects, let's say, of an interview with the former governor of the state, who basically called out the governor and the attorney general for saying they haven't done any proper investigation. They're protecting, and that any individual who was basically telling the whistleblowers back off, that was an illegal order. But again, if you got, in this case, FDS, that doesn't matter. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It could be. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, the former governor was very hard on Trump, clearly. Very hard on a number of Republicans, or, that used to be his party. But it's just kind of ironic. I like the way he put it. The suggestion was, the new thing among a lot of the sharks is go woke, go broke.
Yeah.
For any motion picture, for any radio station,
for everybody that works at ESPN.
Yeah, it says go woke, go broke. And so the suggestion was that we went woke by putting on an ex-governor of the state, who, by the way, for the first half hour of the hour he joined us, just talked about his life and what brought him to Minnesota in the first place. Right? That's really what that was about. Just sort of fleshing out his profile, his background, his educational experiences. He had some great stories to tell there. So keep that in mind. If you got people who are, hammering away, if you want to play the game, I mean, I hate to reduce it to this because then you're playing their game a little bit, but maybe it sends a message of be careful with the derangement syndrome things, because it could be thrown right back at you.
Well, this is, I think.
Oh, and also a new nickname for the station. It's no longer KFAN, although I hate calling it that. Yep. It's now K-Slop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We are now K-Slop.
Interesting.
K-Slop.
That could be a State Fair t-shirt, too.
It could. Absolutely could.
Could you tell that a weight was like lifted off my shoulders when you started talking about this FDS? Like I sat up straighter. Because all of a sudden it just clicked and it made sense, because you wear the weight of those, right? When people are chirping you and the tweets are coming in and the emails and the texts. And it seems like every day, depending on what you talk about, you're going to hear it from somebody about something.
Yeah.
But what I like about this is, to Abbott's credit, very rarely, very, very rarely, to all of our bosses' credit, do they get involved in what we talk about, right? In terms of topics.
No question.
You would know that even better than me. But
to his credit, beyond that, what he's thinking right now is, why are you giving sustenance to the fringe? And I admit it, that's risky, sometimes not worth it. But then sometimes it's too tempting. It's just too much fun to not, especially, like I said, of all the things I expected yesterday, again, Governor Carlson is hard on Republicans. That's undeniable. I'd be foolish to say otherwise or even pretend otherwise. But of all the possibilities of criticisms of having him on, that one didn't come to me. As in, fans going woke again. Because he's not woke. And again, leaving that aside, he was the governor for 2 terms. We do history on this show. So if that's what you do, that's what that makes you a part of Minnesota history for better or for worse. I don't agree with, like, on the socialism stuff, I don't agree with the governor on that because I don't really think the DSA movement, as it is laid out by folks in it, is the sort of quote-unquote socialist that Arnie was talking about yesterday relating to some things that are socialistic in our system right now. I think that's why he played the Van Jones deal. And that was another thing. A listener was insulted by my description on Van Jones being too positive. Here's what I would like to throw out here as a possibility to either accept or be deranged by. It doesn't matter. I have respect for Sharks and Jets who are willing to call out the lunatic fringes on their given party. And that's what I think Van Jones is obviously left of center. But he does not afraid early and often to call out the far left in his own party. I respect that. But again, if you live in that world as Van Jones, he's Democrat. Now, nothing that he says could matter. That's not the language we're going to speak here. My number one objective every day is to be despised. Despised is too strong a term. To infuriate the fringes of Sharks and Jets parties, both of them. That's what I live for that. That's what I'm interested in doing. And that was the point I was trying to make on Van Jones. You don't have to agree with Van Jones on a lot of stuff. But again, if you have, in this case, FDS, then nuance is obviously out the window.
It's gone.
It's pretty much difficult. So I don't know. You tell me about the T-shirts. I don't know.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't.
Because we're getting close.
Yeah, we are. We got to start thinking.
Yeah. I interrupted you on Abbott, though. Did you have something else you were going to say?
Just on the rare times that because there have been times over the years where he'll say, look, I'm not going to tell you what to talk about.
Right.
Here's the feedback I'm getting, though, because letters obviously get to him as well, right? He gets a lot of letters from the website and everything when somebody thinks that a guest or a host or a producer has gone over the line with something. We've been on the air for a million years. It's happened. And for the most part, he kind of just shields us from that, which we appreciate. But on the rare times, he will say, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but here's the feedback I'm getting.
Yes,
and he'll tell us.
Yes.
We can just go, well, yeah, FDS. We just go, FDS, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we talked about the calculation of potentially
FDS, boss.
Annoying half your audience, but they still seem to be reacting, which must mean they listen to some of it. One last text before we get to bonus bucks. This is from Alex. He writes, I've got no problem with you having Governor Carlson on. What I'm still PO'd about is Guardsy having the My Pillow guy on. What gives?
He's about to be the next governor. I'm just trying to get ahead of it.
That's so true.
Because in 40 years, I want to have a show where I have the ex-governor on. Yeah. And if it has to be Mike Trudell, it has to be Mike Trudell. The fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks. It's our national cash contest. The 4 o'clock keyword is bonus. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword bonus. I have an analytic that I would suggest is yet the latest evidence that we might well be done as a society, at least when it comes to Western civilization. We'll explain next.
You're listening to Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800
Is it done as material? I think it might be. Here's the stat. Here's the analytic, or the first of several. Gambling is now a more common leisure activity than reading.
Oh, boy.
57% of Americans placed a bet last year. Fewer than half read a single book. Now, I don't want to get too high and mighty. Not everybody wants to read. Not everybody has the time to read. But I got to tell you, I feel like something is being lost in the translation for the culture at large when those are the numbers and that's the reality. And there's a piece, and I meant to bring in, I've got a printout of part of it. I've got the magazine in the back of my car, and I forgot to bring it in. A piece in The Atlantic talking about the death of reading, basically. And let me give you a couple of the nuggets from it. Americans, once members of a proudly literate society, read much less than they used to, and according to the National Endowment for the Arts, which conducts the most comprehensive survey of the nation's reading habits, fewer than half of all adults reported having read a book of any kind in 2022. Only 38% read a novel or even a short story. A study analyzing 236,000 responses to the American Time Use survey found that the proportion of Americans who read for pleasure on any given day fell from 28% in 2004 to 16% in 2003, or I should say in 2023. The study looked at people who had read a book, magazine, or newspaper, listened to an audiobook, or read an ebook. They're even counting that. Here it is. Gambling has become a more common leisure activity than reading a book. Last year, as we said, 57% of Americans placed a bet. This writer points out the decline cuts across age groups, gender, and education levels. Even the demographics that traditionally read the most, retirees, women, and college graduates, have seen a collapse. New York Times bestsellers today, and this is, I think, to boot, on top of those scary numbers, are about 1/3 shorter than they were a century ago. Now, longer sentences, the writer writes, aren't inherently better, but their former ubiquity suggests an age when Americans had the inclination and ability to read serious works of literature. For example, in 1958, the English translation of Boris Pasternak's Dr. Zhivago was the best-selling novel of the year, according to Publishers Weekly. She notes, says the writer, that Pasternak wrote in long, complex sentences, and her point is it didn't seem to frighten that many people off from still challenging themselves to do exactly that. Now, if you go a little later in the piece, I guess we can get a little bit more regarding comprehension as well. Let me read about newspapers for a minute here. Americans also get much less of their news through reading than they once did. Think about that. Yep. Americans also get much less of their news through reading than they once did. In 1975, about half of 20-somethings said they read the newspaper every day. Today, less than 10% do. Most Americans now get the news where? Phones, laptops, and 40% say they prefer to watch or listen to online news rather than read it. The shift is often referred to as a literacy crisis. It's true that the basic reading skills in America are declining. Fourth and eighth grade reading scores have slid for the past decade. Amanda Kordeliski is on the board of the American Association of School Librarians. She says that she and her fellow librarians have had to buy new books to accommodate students' diminished reading levels. Some of the most popular are now graphic novels, updated classics such as the Magic Treehouse series for elementary school students, and manga for middle and high school schoolers as well. Then there's the stuff about proficiency at skills in terms of analyzing complex fictional themes, etc. Now, she also notes this. Strangely, Americans are actually probably reading more words than ever. What has changed is what they read and how they read it. People are bombarded with emails, text messages, X posts, Reddit threads, Instagram captions. And this explosion of textual fragments has come at the expense of devoting what they call sustained attention to longer written works that convey rich and complicated information. Quote in here from Marianne Wolf, a UCLA big brain, argues that people are losing their ability to think deeply about writing. Doesn't mean they're forgetting how to decode individual words, but they are losing instead the high-order abilities of comprehension and synthesis. America, in other words, isn't illiterate. It's post-literate. She suggests things are about to get worse and fast. Next generation reads much less than today's adults did when they were kids. Kindergarten teachers say that many of their students don't know nursery rhymes or fairy tales. tales. Benjamin Powers, director of Yale and the University of Connecticut's Haskins Global Literacy Hub, said, in the study of 236,000 American adults, only 2% read to a child on a given day. From 1984 to 2025, the percentage of 13-year-olds who said they rarely or never read for fun rose from 8 to 29%. Each year, or every year older a child gets, the less they like to read. And I think I like the way, like I said, the rest of this thing, I don't have all the pages because I intended to bring in the magazine. But she admits, look, I'm writing for a publication, highfalutin, The Atlantic, and so should the average rube care? I mean, is this a thing all too self-serving? I don't think it is. I think you don't even have to, let's say, look down on what's happening to say, at the very least, it's fundamentally changing the way we are, how we're wired, and how we're built, if the kind of reading we're doing is what we now know it is, which is I thought she laid out that pretty nicely in the piece. We probably are reading more words than ever.
Yeah.
But it's the way they're set up. It's the ins, it's like it's quick hits. It's your in and out of it. And we already know attention spans are now down to a ridiculous point. Dwindling. And again, what can you do about it? You're not going to get rid of the phone. You're not going to get rid of the ways that we communicate here. But I think what this story attempts to do is to say, all right, I'll try to not look down on it, but we got to still talk about it because we can't deny that it's fundamentally changing the way we can communicate, maybe even the way our minds work and what they are prepared for down the road. I mean, everybody, like, even if you're a reader, like I go through phases where I read more than other times, and sometimes I go through stretches where I can't at all. But for me, that form of reading, a book, fiction, nonfiction, but something that is more than, 8 sentences, is a completely different experience than being on X and scrolling, in some cases, looking for information, looking for story ideas for the show, whatever the case may be. That's a completely different thing. And it takes me to a different place, which means if you don't get to that place, I think it's got to affect your mind. And then I think ultimately ends up affecting the entire culture, don't you think?
Yes, and I think it has. Now, how do you feel about audiobooks? Because that's taken over.
Well, I think the way she wrote this piece, she's crediting audiobooks as a form of reading. I don't even know if I look at it that way, to be honest with you, but she's actually
very popular now.
And it is, audiobooks are books, right? I mean, in other words, if you're going to listen to an entire audiobook, that is still a sustained activity over a period of time. One could say that'd be different than, okay, I'm going to get on Insta and I'm going to read a few things. I'm going to get on scroll. What's the Chinese one that all the kids love?
Oh, I don't even know.
You know it. You said it. It's everybody's. All kids are on it.
Oh, TikTok.
TikTok.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Those are, again, there's a million things coming at you, but they're there and they're gone, right? It's a quick hit.
Yep.
It's what, 4 sentences, maybe a visual, and then you're on to the next one.
Get to the next one,
right?
Yeah.
And even X. If you're looking at something on a piece of video or a piece of music on X, and you run out on it, then what happens at the end of it? Something else comes in that you weren't even looking for.
It fills it.
And it does fill it, and then sometimes that is interesting in of itself, but they're all quick snapshots. And I think the point she's trying to make is if that's all we're doing with our words, we're creating a very, very different environment than we've ever had before. And it's obviously, I don't think anything's going to reverse it at this point, because I think we're all too immersed, or many people are too immersed in the toys, and the toys that say, I can stay on this for 8 seconds and then give me another one, right? That's the whole bit, especially for kids, right?
That's how they hook them in.
I mean, even you could say, because TV was once called the idiot box. And so you could say, well, there was all these predictions that was going to corrupt us, and that wasn't going to be good for us. And you could say to a certain extent it wasn't. But I would say the one thing about TV was if you are into it, like in my formative years, you're watching a whole show.
Right.
Might be 30 minutes, might be an hour, might be 90 minutes. But at least it's something that's sustained as opposed to, I got to watch one show after another show after another, a bunch of mini shows, which is basically what we're doing now, right?
Yeah, YouTube Shorts are as popular as anything right now.
That's it. A lot of good texts coming in. I'm a college professor that teaches at Minnesota State University, Mankato. Not Mankato State.
No, you can't call it that.
Minnesota State University, Mankato.
That's right. Go Mavs.
I have
Mavs fam.
Is that what it's called now?
That's what they like to think.
Yeah, that's what they like to think of. I have twin 13-year-old boys. They'll be 8th graders in the fall. My one boy does a lot of reading, but as you just stated, a lot of that is the graphic novels, things like that. The other one has no interest in doing reading at all. So even the one that is reading, while he's reading graphic novels, at least he's reading something. The other one is also very smart, gets good grades, does almost no leisure reading. So I don't even know, maybe there's no correlation between not reading and smartness. Probably isn't in terms of intelligence, but it's a matter of what you're doing with the intelligence, right? And what you're doing with your head, I think, at some point. Alan and Afton, Dan, people who read an entire Russo article are the middle ground. They are not books, but halfway through you do wonder. That's more Johnny than Russo, isn't it?
They're both pretty meaty.
They are pretty meaty.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they can get going.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
It is hard to get through an entire athletic article sometimes, though. You do have to break it up in chunks. At least I do.
Well, here's the funny thing about the way the business has evolved. When I was writing mainly in Dallas, my job, I wasn't writing many columns, but I was writing these, they were called takeouts back in the day. And the idea was, okay, Eric Dickerson is emerging as the best running back in football for the Rams. Go out to Anaheim, spend some time with him, write a profile, because I was in Dallas at the time, and Eric Dickerson, of course, went to SMU. And the frustration was I wanted to write a book. Like I got too much good stuff. You got to give me more room. And then they would generally give you a lot of space. But I will tell you, occasionally they would say, we don't have any more space. You know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to edit. You're going to have to take some stuff out. You have to understand that even if you think you have good stuff, and even if you think the subject is worthy, people aren't going to read forever. Because it's not a book, it's a newspaper. And that's the interesting thing. Even at the Star Tribune, column writing was, all right, we only got 22-inch column, basically, that's it. And it was frustrating because, oh, God, I got a little bit more. I wanted, but the comeback to that was self-editing is good. Because, again, don't be presumptuous that people are going to stay with you all the time.
Right.
Now, what the internet world has, the athletic world has basically said, just go forever. And I'm not sure all of that's good. I do know that if I was in the same position as Johnny and Russo, I'd take advantage of it the same way. I'd say, I'm going to keep going. I got too much good stuff. But that gets into the area of actually the embodiment of a physical newspaper. There's only so much room in it. And that's not all bad for writers to learn to discipline themselves to say, I don't really need to include that.
Yeah. Sometimes you can make it better.
That out, and actually you can make it better, and there's a better chance that people are going to get to the end of the piece. That could probably be true about books, too. I guess that's why they have editors for books, correct?
You hear comedians talk about it a lot. Seinfeld, I just saw a thing he said where you like a comic at an hour, or you really like a comic at an hour. You could love him.
Yeah.
At 90 minutes, you're like, yeah, he's fine, because you stayed too long.
No question.
You got to tighten it up. An hour is the number. Do an hour if you're a big shot.
Well, the cliche is leave them wanting more.
Yeah,
in whatever it was, whatever the entertainment, whatever it is, right?
That's right. He was talking about his show, which he's done a million times. People were asking him about Seinfeld. You could have gone back, made another $100 million an episode or whatever it was. Not that he needs the money, but he said, but what we had, the audience was with me every step of the way, the entire run. If I would have stayed too long, I would have known it. It would have cheapened that, and maybe it would have colored the whole experience differently for people.
I run the risk of contributing to FDS.
Oh.
I read this one. But I'll balance it out. Here's the one that might bring on some more fan derangement syndrome reaction. If you know the reference to the movie Idiocracy, we are literally seeing that movie come to life right before our eyes, from the president and UFC fights at the White House to what the media has become, our justice system and the vulgar way we now all talk. this is all happening in real time, and it seems everyone is okay with it. But I'll counter that with this one from 651 guy. Well, I think people in Minneapolis-St. Paul area don't do much long-form reading anymore, especially the newspaper, because when we read the Star Tribune talking about how it's anti-American to remove a pedophile from the streets, we literally get dumber with each passing word that we read from that communist, Marxist rag. Did I balance that out enough?
Yeah, that's life in America right now.
That's pretty much.
That is life in America right now.
People may be reading less newspapers and books, but long-form articles on sites like The Athletic seem to have been increasing in popularity for the last 3 to 4 years.
I hope so, because they're excellent. Too. I love reading them.
There's no question. Yep. That form is what a lot of us got into the business for. And fewer places allow it. There might be some times where middle ground should be considered, but I get it. Do you consider listening to audiobooks as reading a book? I have a friend who always says he read a book, but he does audiobooks, and I always correct him by saying he listened to a book and he hates it. I'm not, the audiobooks haven't worked out for me, because if I don't like the narrator, then I'm done. I'm annoyed quickly.
And they might have a tinny or echoey microphone.
Don't say that. Now you're going to get a habit going. That's all you need. We're working on it, is what I was told. Anyway,
yeah, for sure.
But then there's a part of me that says, I think it is better than nothing. I don't know. Is your mind, your mind doesn't have to work as hard listening to a book as opposed to reading a book, but I think your mind does have to work harder to listen to a book than just listen to the news.
Or a podcast.
That you're in and out of. I don't know.
I know Hawk is a big, Chris Hockey's a big audiobook guy.
Yes, a lot of people
My wife, same thing. She's churned through like 10 books in the last 3 months.
People are more interested in enriching their wallets. That's why they're betting that more than they are enriching their minds or their souls. America is turning into the alternative universe, 1985 from Back to the Future, where Biff got rich. This is, again, Alan from Afton. Would you agree that people who have a problem calling out the extremes within their side are often part of that extreme? These are often the people who have decided that you can't even talk to the opposition. Even tolerating the opposition is a form of surrender of their ideals. Bing, bing. I mean, we've talked about that for years. The problem I see is extremes looking for ways to get more extreme and not even contemplating coming to the middle. Well, part of that is about a belief, I think a lie, quite frankly, but a belief that if you go to the middle, you don't have any. You really don't have any ideal. You don't even really have any opinions. You're too wishy-washy, and I think middle. I at least like to think of it as more appealing would be what I would classify as the Bill Maher middle. The Bill Maher middle isn't that he's afraid to eviscerate Trump or eviscerate lefties on any number of issues that bug him. It's I'm going to take what comes, and so if that means I'm really not in the middle on any of those issues I'm eviscerating either side on, I'm trying to show a capability to challenge, really, again, the extremes in particular. And the assumption is always, well, then you don't really want to change anything. You want everything just to stay the same. And a lot of it has to do with, I would call it this is also going to be FDS worthy, sort of the Andy Luger philosophy, which is, I just want to be about the work. I want to be about technicians who identify problems and attempt to do something about them.
Yeah.
Something that, for example, the Minneapolis City Council, I just don't think is all that interested in doing. I think they're far more interested in posturing. On reading, we got time for a couple more. Dan, I wonder how much impact AI is having on our critical thinking skills in the corporate space. People used to write emails from scratch, create PowerPoints from scratch, and now we have AI. He has it's AI tools, right?
Yeah.
To do that in the corporate space in the name of efficiency. That's Mo from Wrigleyville, formerly of Uptown Minneapolis. Yeah, that's another whole issue. Right? I mean, that is another whole. Yeah. I mean, that's. I don't even know. I'm completely intimidated by the whole issue of AI. I don't. As I was walking Arnie out the door yesterday, he Ubered here, by the way. He got picked up an Uber to go back. almost 92 years old.
Yeah.
Less high maintenance than Glenn Mason. You can't even make it up. Anyway, that's the thing. He said, one of the things we didn't talk about is how much concern he has about AI basically, leaving people with where the job's going to be. And that's, I go back and forth from, it's a worthy subject, but are we scaring people more than we need to, especially in this early period when it's like the new frontier? Or is it actually going to be even worse than it's predicted? Because the danger in scaring people is I don't know that helps. Because I don't even know, what are people supposed to do?
What do we do?
Yeah. What are you asking them to do? Curl up in the fetal position?
I know.
How do you fight it? I don't know. Consider the explosion of podcasts. It's basically on-demand talk radio. Yeah, and I'm not against talk radio, obviously. I'm just saying should be a place for everything. Dan, fascinating stats. I love The Atlantic and The Athletic because they are in-depth and provide a lot of good information. I don't deal with audio or video very well. Probably means 612 guy is very well adjusted, and that's encouraging. Maybe that's a place to start. Does the microphone sound better?
Oh, keep talking.
Check test 1, 2, 3, 4. We decided to try to move the anchor desk from the anchor microphone to a different one.
Sounds pretty good.
Does it sound the same?
I don't know. I haven't noticed the tinny, echoey stuff as much as others.
I'm getting every day it's worse, and then I'm beginning to think some of that's a bit,
but
then some of it's true. And then some people say, it's driving me crazy sitting over here. I'm going to move back.
Yeah, you have nothing to look at. You have your back to me. Maybe you could sit in the meat sauce chair, although that's dangerous. Maybe you should move to the other chair that has monitors in front of it.
That's true.
I could just hit the brake. Maybe you could move over to the meat sauce mic.
Oh, that's an idea. Maybe I'll do that in the 5 o'clock hour. That's a thought.
Here's when
when Kessler comes in, then I don't have to worry about the text line.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Move. Yeah. I think you should move there every segment after you do a hardcore political rant.
That's not a bad idea.
Then I think we should mandate that you move to the meat sauce chair.
715 guy said he noticed the difference immediately when I sat in front of the other microphone. It's the microphone that Arnie Carlson used yesterday.
Yeah.
When we went woke. 763 guy writes, I just served Arnie at the Normandy downtown last week. What a charmer.
He is a charmer.
There's no question about that.
Delighted.
Yeah.
Splendid.
Delighted. Yeah.
That'd be delightful.
Yeah. You know what he left behind? Like a small, I don't even call it like a notepad, 1 page.
I saw that.
Notes. I took it. I didn't take it. He left it here.
Yeah.
So now I've got it.
What was on that thing?
And it wasn't no, there was nothing controversial. Just a couple of notes, a couple things that he maybe was thinking about talking about. But the funny thing is, on the other side of it, he had taken down, I sent him the address.
Yeah.
So he knew where to come here. And it was the wrong address. He wrote down a different address than what I texted him. But somehow he still got here. So I don't know.
It's amazing.
Amazing is what it is. Maybe he's a big Continental Diamond guy. Oh, yeah, it's Continental Diamond building.
Could be.
That's possible.
He could be.
You don't remember him ever being in here with us. Is that correct?
No.
In the time we've been doing it, 17
I don't. Yeah, I don't think. No.
Never mind. It's back. They write, turn your monitors down. There's no monitor on in here. Now, one of the theories is we've got these new screens behind us, so it's bouncing off of something there. I don't know.
I don't know why that would matter.
I have no
idea. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's bizarre.
We're doing our best, though.
Yeah, we are.
Right now, you and I are the only people here.
That's usually the case, isn't it?
Exactly. That's kind of the point. You and I are the only people here. Kessler will be here, I'm guessing, momentarily. He's probably parking right now. So we're not exactly an all-hands-on-deck operation at this point. Not in the afternoon.
Your feedback ring is around 300 hertz. I just ran an analyzer on your show.
That seems
interesting.
How do you even do that?
But a bunch of people said what you just did moving, it sounded way different. So maybe I will do that in the 5 o'clock hour. Maybe even for the top 5 at 5, I'll move to where Sauce is.
Go to the Sauce mic.
Because there is a monitor there, right?
Yeah.
But I can't fire the commercials.
No, but that's fine. I can figure out when you're going to break.
Dan,
we've worked together long enough.
That's true. I stumbled upon the greatest bit on extremism by John Cleese, skewers the sanctimony behind it, and points out that both sides hate one demographic in common, moderates. They abhor moderates. There's no question about that. Got on a good old Twitter last night and saw Dan getting destroyed. What the hell did you guys talk about yesterday? We made the cardinal sin yesterday was devoting an hour to an in-studio visit with a former 2-term governor of Minnesota, Arnie Carlson. That's all we did. Literally. That's what got, in some circles, I got to be fair, a lot of people were very complimentary of the hour and enjoyed it. So that's the Abbott bit is, come on. You know, you're giving people the wrong idea and you're listening to the wrong people, which is fine.
Yeah.
Here's another. Where did the other one go? Related to the reading issue. This looked like a good, juicy, meaty one. Here it is. Dan, is it possible? This is from the original Tony Zamboni guy. Is it possible that people moving on to audio/online content versus physically reading a book, periodical, magazine, etc., could be attributed to parents and teachers, especially younger generations, not knowingly instilling better reading or unknowingly instilling better reading habits, i.e. reading promotes better grammar, increased patience, intuition, and imagination? Or could it simply be that some consider audio books or whatever content they listen to as easier, cooler to read and or watch, as if being influenced in that is the better, more popular thing to do? I don't know. Just curious. Those are all fair questions. I mean, I think I can't prove this, but I agree with the premise in the Athletic piece. In the Atlantic piece. I'll bring in the magazine tomorrow, and we'll get to the second half of what she wrote, because it's worthy of more than one day anyway. I do think it has an effect on the culture at large. I really do. I think it brings us all down. Does that explain everything? No, but I at the very least, even if you don't think it's negative, it's different.
Yes.
That part's pretty much undeniable.
I will say, in the last half an hour since you brought this up, as a father, my kids are not going to like me tonight because they have not been reading like I think they should this summer since they've been out of school. You know what I mean? Like, they should be reading more than they're reading right now. I probably should be as well. And now I feel like I have to have a family meeting to say, we're going to figure this thing out in August. I'm going to give you a week, but by August 1st, everybody's got to find a book that they want to dive into in the off hours. Because as you know, in the summer, you're trying to fill time in between sports and play dates and friends coming over and all that stuff. And all they want to do is watch TV or play video games when they're not doing an activity or out and about somewhere. Yeah. So we got to get that train back on the tracks. That's going to be the August project.
Just did a quick test. This is John, the Olympian from Plymouth. Who's John, the Olympian from Plymouth? Do we know?
I think he's a curler, but not John Schuster.
Okay.
I was thinking about him the other day.
Here's what he writes. Just did a quick test. I went to FM to hear your signal and can hear the tinny echo. Back to iHeartRadio, and the problem is gone.
See, I've heard the opposite, that it's worse on iHeart than it is on FM.
It's very confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dan, I think the reason moderates are hated is because they can actually get something done through compromise. You can't stir the left or right if you have nothing to fight about. Well, it goes back to...
There's no money in the middle, man.
There's no money in the middle, and there's no I can't give sustenance to my enemy.
Yeah.
That's the bit. And so you blind yourself to the reality of your party or your lunatic fringe because you say there's just too much at stake. It's unfortunate, but that's sort of the way. Reading helps with critical thinking. Yeah, I think it does. I think it can. I mean, it doesn't mean you're automatically going to be a better critical thinker, but I do think it makes your mind have to work in kind of a different way. I had one more I wanted to get to here before we... The problem with being over here, though, is there's some good text coming in for Kessler. So I won't be able to read those over there either, will I? Or can you get them? You sound great here in Mankato.
You could get them over there, actually.
Oh, I could?
Yeah, you could. I could pull it up for you over there.
Okay.
In fact, I was thinking about that the other day. We should get you can get the text on your own laptop as well. And then it would be easier for you to log in.
You can?
Yes. It's just a website.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
no one's ever said that to me before.
Yeah. We should start doing that just on your laptop. And then when you have to do
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All I have is the iPad. That'll work in there. Yeah, that's what you mean by laptop.
It should. I would think so.
That's a great idea.
Just like the World Cup Open, it takes me a while to figure it out, but once I do, I can usually come up with a solution.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Dan, you quoted Marianne Wolf in reading, I teach her research on this. Our very civilization is based on long-form reading. All the rise in mental health issues among the young, ADHD, anxiety, depression, etc., she attributes to this decline in long-form reading on the printed page, which uses different synapses that screen reading. It sounds highfalutin, but I think there might be something to it. Top 5?
Queen Fee is back.
You're listening to Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Fresh Time Market.